Okay, so this lesson is about consumer application, and so what this lesson entails is using the skills from the few previous lessons with fractions and mixed numbers and putting them into some sort of scenario. So I'll go over a few examples on how to work with these types of numbers. So the first example is Beth needs 1 2/3 cup of sugar to make a cake and 2 1/4 cups to make a pie. How much sugar does she need to make both? So I'll just kind of summarize that. She needs 1 2/3 cups of sugar to make a cake, and she needs 2 1/4 cups of sugar to make a pie. And the question is, how much sugar does she need to make both? So the key word in that is that it says both, and so that means we need to add those two numbers. So 1 2/3 plus 2 1/4. Now, in order to add mixed numbers, we have to change them into an improper fraction, and then we can add them. So we take the 1 times the 3, and that's 3, and then we add the numerator. So 3 plus 2 is 5, and we keep the denominator. Same with the second one. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9, divided by 4. So 1 2/3 is the same as 5/3, and 2 1/4 is the same as 9/4. So now to add fractions, we need a common denominator. So we look at the 3 and we look at the 4, and we realize that 12 would be our least common denominator. So we want to rewrite these fractions as something over 12. So 3 times what gives me 12, and that's times 4. So now I need to multiply 4 times 5, that gives me 20. Now this one, 4 times what gives me 12, and that's 3. So 9 times 3 is 27. And then we add those two numbers together. So 20 plus 27 all over the 12, and that gives us 47 over 12. Now to change that back into a mixed number, we just divide. So we take 47 in the box and put 12 out here and see how many times it goes in. So for this one, you might want to use your calculator, or you can do it by hand, but it goes in 3 full times. And so that's 36, and then we want to subtract, and so 47 minus 36 is 11, and so that becomes our numerator over the 12. We keep the same denominator. So she needs 3 11/12 cups of sugar. The next example says Susan began a trip with 18.5 gallons of gas in the gas tank of her car. If she used 15 3/4 gallons on the trip, how many gallons did she have left when she finished the trip? Okay, so she began with 18.5 gallons of gas, and then she used 15 3/4 gallons. So it says how many does she have left? So the key word is left. And that means that we're going to subtract these two numbers. So 18 1/2 minus 15 3/4. Again, we have to change these to an improper fraction. So 18 times 2 is 36, plus 1 is 37 halves. Then 15 times 4 is 60, plus 3 is 63 fourths. Again, we look at the denominators. and determine what's our common denominator, and in this case it's 4. So here 2 times 2 gives us 4, so 2 times 37 is 74. And then over here, the 4 is already at the 4, so we don't have to do anything. So 63 is the numerator there. Then we keep that and we subtract the numerators all over the common denominator. And 74 minus 63 is 11. So 11/4. Now again, we can divide and know what that is as a mixed number. So 4 goes into 11 2 times. And 11 minus 8 gives us 3, so 3/4 gallons. So that's how much gas she had left after her trip. Next example, find the number of bushels of wheat to be harvested from 14 1/4 acres if each acre yields 36 bushels. So they have 14 1/4 acre, and each acre yields 36 bushels. Bushels is a form of measurement. So let's take a look at this, and we might be curious, I'm not sure, do we divide, do we multiply? So if we were to kind of draw a picture of this scenario, what we would see is that we would have this plot of land, and we know that each acre has 36 bushels. So we could do this 14 1/4 times, and so that means we're going to multiply. So 14 1/4 times 36. Now there's a couple ways that you can do this problem, so whichever way makes more sense to you is fine. We can definitely convert the 14 1/4 to an improper fraction before multiplying, or we can kind of do this in steps and say 14 times 36, take the whole numbers and multiply them, and we get 504. And then we have to worry about the 1/4 times 36. And I can always write a whole number as a fraction by putting it over 1. And when we multiply fractions, we multiply straight across. So then we get 36 over 4, but 4 goes into 36 9 times. So now we're going to add 9 to that 504, and we get 513 bushels. Last example, if the South Side Band can march 1 3/4 miles per hour, how long will it take them to parade along a 6-mile route? So let's take a look at this, and let's say that this is our 6 miles that they want to parade. And they can march 1 3/4 miles per hour. So 1 3/4 miles per hour is almost 2 miles per hour. That means they could go 2 miles, and that would take 1 hour. Then they'd go another 2 miles, and that would take another hour. And then they go another 2 miles, and that would take an hour. So we can estimate our answer right away to know that this should be about 3 hours. Now it might be more because indeed they are going slower than 2 miles an hour. But all the same, what we see by doing this type of method is that we are going to divide. So we are going to take the 6 miles and divide that by the 1 3/4 miles per hour that they are traveling, and that will tell us how long it takes them. So in this case, let's change that to an improper fraction. So 1 times 4 is 4, plus 3 is 7. So we have 6 divided by 7/4, and it's 6 over 1. Now with fractions, we never actually divide. We keep the first one, change it to multiply, but flip the second one on its head. And now we're at the point where we can multiply straight across. So 6 times 4 is 24, and 1 times 7 is 7. So our answer is 24/7. Now if we want to convert that back to an improper fraction, we just divide. So 24 divided by 7, it goes in 3 full times. 3 times 7 is 21, so 24 minus 21 leaves us with a remainder of 3/7 hours. So notice we were able to estimate our answer and see that this answer is indeed reasonable. So now that you've watched the recording, you're going to give me a call or a text or a Skype message, and we will discuss this recording, and I will ask you a question about it, and that's how you get credit. Have a great day.